You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious.
Serious about business.
Crime, corruption, and criminal justice. AmCham, the American Chamber of Commerce, is shining a light on these topics here at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel in a luncheon that's looking at how these affect Jamaica's trade and investment potential. I'm Elon Parkinson. Let's take a look at the highlights.
One of the things that I realize is that having these forums, it provides us with an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to improve. And all members should give your organization a round of applause. Put your hands together for it. For weeks, I was talking about business unusual. For weeks, that was the last one on the economy that you guys had. And I was in cocktail conversation sounding smarter than I am just by virtue of having been in the room. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out today. I'm going to apologize for the National Security Minister, Dr. Horace Chang. He did intend to be here, but he was called at the last minute to Parliament. I believe he has a parliamentary committee that he must be at, so they've summoned him. You know, the numbers are important in these committees to make quorum and to participate in discussions at Gordon House, so he won't be with us today. The DPP, the Director of Public Prosecutions, Paula Llewellyn, is here. Thank you very much for being here with us today, as is Dirk Harrison, the acting head of the Corruption Prosecution Division at the Integrity Commission. Always glad to have Professor Anthony Clayton, a respected criminologist, here with us today. Jason Fraser is the country rep of the USAID. Thank you very much, and looking forward to hearing their presentations later today. At this time, I'm going to invite Alison Peart, the president of AmCham of Jamaica, to give the official welcome.
Good afternoon, everybody. You know, we look so officious and so quiet. It's very, very important business, but I'm hoping today you're going to learn a lot more. You're going to leave here understanding more about some of the issues and, more importantly, with some solutions. Because it's one thing to speak about our issues, but if we don't find a solution, we're just a talk shop. And I love Nationwide on the radio, but we don't just want to talk. We want to come up with some solutions. So as the president of the American Chamber of Commerce in Jamaica, we thought it very important. We talk about how wonderful the economy was. Our last session was business unusual. But if we have crime issues, if people don't feel, Jamaicans don't feel comfortable going about their daily lives, if our foreign investors don't feel comfortable, if our children, who are our future, have issues, where are we as a nation? So we thought it very important to bring together a panel that would engage in the dialogue about crime, corruption, criminal justice. How does it affect our trade and investment? Because it makes no sense to talk about our GDP growing or our debt to GDP if we're dying. It makes no sense if our future is tied to crime. So this dialogue is very, 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 very important, and I'm very happy you're here with us.
Okay, the question today is how much crime and corruption and a dysfunctional justice system are actually inhibiting the development of Jamaica and inward investment. Because we don't just have one problem, we have quite a complex array of problems. And it's quite hard to know how much we should attribute to any one of these and how much any one of these is contributing to what has historically been a very low rate of growth and significant difficulties in attracting inward investment and retaining domestic capital and retaining human capital. These are the headline ones. We have one of the highest rates of violence in the world. We have a large number, a significant number of gangs. About 80% of our homicide are gang-related. The rest are primarily domestic violence. So the fact that we have a large number of gangs is clearly a major factor in maintaining one of the world's highest levels of homicide. There are fundamental challenges still in our system of governance. As I'll be going on to say in a few minutes, we have people in public life who help to create this problem with gangs and high levels of violence, and that link has never been yet severed, and that is still a challenge that we have yet to face. What, of course, that does is it undermines the moral authority of government. If you have a situation where all the bad guys are out there and everybody in government is honest and competent, it's not really very difficult to deal with the problems of crime. The problem is when the boundaries between the two are blurred, and when you have criminals who are getting high-level political protection. At that point, it's much, much harder to deal with the issues. Of course, what that feeds is a culture of cynicism, low trust, and that has a great deal to do with sustaining a high level of violence. In any country where you see that people do not trust the police and do not trust the justice system, they're much more likely to have recourse to violence to solve their issues and disputes. So it's partly reflecting the fact that we've still got deep weaknesses in our system of governance. But let's put this in a little context. There's only one demographic for whom violence is the leading cause of premature morbidity, which is young males, late teens, early 20s. For every other demographic, it's actually cheeseburgers that are more likely to kill you. We've got issues with, like every other country, with steeply rising rates of non-communicable diseases. And we can't also forget the fact that we have perennial challenges with energy security, increasingly with water security, which is related, because years ago we made the decision that everybody must be on a piped water supply, which means that we're now committed to a program of pumping water up hillsides, which means that if our energy system goes down, our water system goes down too. In hindsight, perhaps that wasn't a very good decision. So we've got issues with energy, water security, and more generally food and access to resources. We live in a seismically active part of the world. We live in the hurricane belt. There's challenges with emerging exotic diseases, and of course we've got a background issue really serious now, as people have started to realize with climate change. You may have heard that this summer is the hottest ever recorded in Jamaica's history. And in fact, there's now real grounds for concern that we've gone past an irrevocable point, and that we will not ever revert back to the low temperatures of the past. So this is something that we may now have to make a permanent adjustment to.
I'm Jean Laurie Chin, and I'm the Executive Director of ProCom, ProDev, and CCRP. BATV had heard about our outreach arm, which is a Caribbean community of retired persons. I think BATV is having a very positive impact. And as a result of that excellent feature, we got more members. So clearly people are watching BATV. I always say to my clients, you should have a 360-degree campaign. Do not limit yourself to one media house. And especially those who are in business, I think it's very important to include BATV in their portfolio.
Your business matters. Promote it on Business Access TV.
One of our highest priorities of the U.S. government in Jamaica is to work with our counterparts to interdict Jamaican and Caribbean-based transnational criminal activity, including narcotics and arms trafficking, trafficking in persons, and financial fraud targeting U.S. citizens. The U.S. government has also invested heavily in supporting anti-corruption initiatives with the civil society and Jamaican government, as well as supported improvements in the justice system. In total, the U.S. government invests about $12 million in security-related programming annually, which does not include all the various partnerships and collaborations that our various U.S. government agencies have with their counterparts. In fact, USAID Jamaica just advertised a broad agency announcement to co-design our flagship community violence prevention activity with key stakeholders such as the government, academia, and private sector. This unique co-creation approach encourages key stakeholders to co-create and deliver the services that are vital to prevent youth crime and violence at the community level. Law enforcement and criminal justice are important to controlling crime, as we all know, and corruption. But we also have to address the underlying social challenges that both cause and contribute to crime. Within the broad range of U.S. cooperation on crime, and this is where USAID comes in, we partner with the government and civil society on a range of programs to address the root causes of crime in Jamaica. So in the area of community safety and security, and building upon past successes with community-based policing, USAID focuses on the strengthening of community-based and civil society organizations, the promotion of community-driven activities, the development of long-term champions of a culture of lawfulness, and the enhancement of ministries, departments, and agencies of the state to be more community-oriented institutions. In this way, we believe that we contribute to building safer communities, strengthening social cohesion, and improving civic engagement participation. USAID also works with holistic youth-friendly approaches that aims to assist at-risk youth in becoming active citizens through the engagement of different social, educational, behavioral, and recreational activities. This approach includes three main areas regarding youth involved in criminality: prevention, intervention, and rehabilitation, including diversion activities as alternatives to traditional incarceration for first-time offenders. Youth also develop skills through educational programs which introduce them to fundamental concepts in business, economics, individual accountability, and entrepreneurship. USAID expects that life skills and technical training will increase opportunities for at-risk youth to work within the legitimate economy, thereby reducing the likelihood of involvement in gang and criminal activity. In Jamaica, relationships with key public sector, private sector, and donor agency partners are being leveraged to create programs to build skills and to identify work options for youth. USAID also works in the youth remandee centers, which includes case management follow-up to facilitate at-risk youth acquiring job and education opportunities when they are released. In the area of corruption, the Combating Corruption in Jamaica project has not only built public demand for more effective action against corruption through awareness campaigns, but has also provided training to government and civil society partners to build capacity and increase advocacy. The project is expected to have an impact on the nation's capacity and the ability to effectively control instances of and attitudes towards corruption in general and political corruption in particular. So what's the role of the private sector in addressing the root causes? That's why we're all here today. Many of you are representing private sector organizations. How can the private sector be a key partner in addressing some of these root causes? Obviously, many of you are part of the community, and so you have an interest. Your companies are often affected by the high rates of crime and corruption. So it's important that government, international partners who support government, NGOs, and the private sector work together to address these issues. We've all been to various forums on issues surrounding crime in Jamaica. I think the private sector here needs to continue to ask itself what it is doing to address the issue. Clearly, advocacy is important to press for resources, accountability, and support in combating crime. But there's much more that can be done to invest in communities to make them safer and create opportunities for the next generation to be prosperous. Looking ahead, we welcome the opportunity to increase our engagement with the private sector on these challenges because of the energy and innovation that they typically bring to the table. USAID is a learning agency, and we are constantly exploring how to improve our work and increase our impact. So as we streamline our programs and look for new strategic partners, we invite the private sector to partner with us as we both work towards the common goal of helping Jamaicans thrive.
There's this sense of a godlike syndrome that during some transactions an oversight body must lap its tail or virtually hold its corner in the name of investment. There are different roles for each stakeholder. Each must stay in their lane and accept criticism when constructively made. On the contrary, ladies and gentlemen, potential investors, in fact, should be happy that the business environment observes the rule of law and that democracy flourishes with built-in checks and balances. If I were an investor about to enter Jamaica, it's incumbent on me and my handlers to look out for red flags and indicators of the environment. I name a few on a list that is not exhaustive. 1, determine the role of the oversight body. It must be effective, efficient, fearless, and it must be respected. What, if any, comment does the oversight body have to say on a process or an investment opportunity that you wish to enter? The engagement, ladies and gentlemen, of investors and investor confidence, existing and thriving, must be viewed on a virtual 2-lane highway. That is a 2-way street with rules and guidelines being applicable. 2, does the police service support and protect local and non-Jamaican community members? Do they communicate with all persons? Are they accessible at all times? Maintain a presence that the visitor or citizen believes and recognizes that if they do wrong, they'll be detected. But lines of communication must always be in place. For too long in this blessed country, the notion exists that unless someone knows you and you not knowing them, nothing will happen. That needs to end. In a time of real emergency, the joke is told, unless you have on speed dial a member of the police force, the response time to a complaint is sometimes unacceptable. Another thing that I would think an investor would look for, there must be a criminal justice system that is efficient and effective, and we must congratulate the learned Chief Justice for the renaissance and the role of the DPP's office in the renaissance that is taking place now. But we must also have financial services, a banking system, healthcare facilities. They must be adequate, to name a few components. Importantly, ladies and gentlemen, on Jamaica's stock exchange record, Michael Reagan, writing in Bloomberg Business Week, January 18, 2019, states the Jamaican Stock Exchange is the world's best performing. Its outperformance over the past 5 years is even more striking. Jamaica's stocks have surged almost 300%, more than quadrupling the next best performing national benchmark and septupling the S&P Standard & Poor's 500's advance. I make bold to say that the very important successes must be highlighted, with all the negatives on crime and violence reported in the last 48 hours in Jamaica. Also, the awards in the tourism sector must also be celebrated. However, we must do better. Ladies and gentlemen, what are some of the solutions? Government agencies must work together all the time and set aside jealousies and petty matters which have no place in a professional setting. Interagency cooperation and collaboration must be emphasized and practiced. We must build bridges and stop tearing down, emasculating, and ridiculing persons. The fact that you do not agree is no reason to disrespect. Professionalism is non-negotiable. We must have a review of the timelines to review governance structures. Oftentimes, pieces of legislation give you 3 years to review a legislation. You see in 1 year, nothing is happening. The parliamentary caucus needs to do something about that. We must enhance whistleblowing regimes and encourage the discourse, changing the discourse to, in my words, informer for live. Stop saying informer for dead, informer for live. I must admit, I'm an informer. I'm a proud one. I'm an informer. Tell me something today, I'm going to tell the police tomorrow. We need to modernize the law enforcement units and bring outstanding laws into operation. We need public education to sensitize the world that the perception of corruption or actual is not a reflection of the overwhelming majority of law-abiding Jamaicans. We need to ensure that the police and our oversight bodies work to regain public trust. The police must maintain presence, not just in hotspots, but also generally. It will help to rebuild issues of insecurity. I pause here as I listen to Professor Clayton. In the last month, I visited Cayman. The police carry no guns. A year before, I went to Turks and Caicos. The police had no guns. I visited Grenada a few times. The police had no guns. They have their problems, but I felt safe. I'm walking in this, my beloved country, and we're turning and looking behind us every minute. But our Caribbean neighbors, and Professor Clayton showed us the figures, I feel safe. We need to look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, as I close, I reiterate that the government of Jamaica, the ministries, the departments, the statutory bodies, to name a few, must work united to create that package, that which is seen by the outside world, with all the various components and elements that they look at, and which they consider, and which will have the effect to harness growth and encourage investor confidence. But most importantly, we must leave our partners with the belief that integrity is non-negotiable. Honesty is paramount, not by word of mouth, but by our actions. And despite our problems, crime and corruption, that they can and humbly should consider investing in our country to bring about change for good. Acknowledging that the improvement of the basic standards of life may have the effect of changing behavior, but I readily admit we can't legislate for good behavior.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
In respect of what it takes to inspire confidence, I'm a plain speaker, and I will say, I believe that what is happening in our country, education is the key. I believe that a lot of our children, some of those who come from environments where they are victims of poor and dysfunctional parenting, we need to reintroduce civics in all its forms back within the schools, from the time of the basic school, because there are a lot of our children. People complain that, okay, are the schools not doing enough? But they may go to school, the teachers try their best, and they go back into an environment that is like a black hole of nothingness, because there's no value system, no values, positive values and attitudes. And yet if you take that child and you put that child in another environment, you have intervention, positive intervention, you would be surprised to see the beautiful diamond coming from the rough. So I'm really a big believer in education. Now, another pet peeve of mine is that, and I prosecute police officers, I do not subscribe to the throwing the baby with the bathwater approach. everybody knows their functions best. But I am not a public official who believes, unless it is necessary in the interests of justice, to make gratuitous comments in terms of seeking to tear down my colleagues anywhere. And I am not into using speculation to put out there to join the call for crucify him, crucify her in the public domain, where you have the court of public opinion demanding, just like the little old ladies who were knitting at the time in The Tale of Two Cities and saying for the noblemen, chop off their heads. I am not into that. At the Director of Public Prosecution's office, we deal with two things: the law and evidence. Personal emotion, personalities, we are not into it. So even if the court of public opinion or any other opinion would like to see the guillotined head of an individual on a platter, if there is no evidence to prosecute, to mount a viable prosecution, then as a matter of law, we have to say so. And I will say, and it's the first time I'm saying it publicly, first time, and I say it with the greatest of respect, that this is why on occasion, when I've been asked privately, I have registered privately a concern when you have no firewall between agencies that both investigate and prosecute. Because if you are not careful, you run away in the court of public opinion, and the court of law has to catch up. And by the time it gets to court, after a lot of reputational damage has been done, when you look at it and the defense counsel gets up and says, they are putting the prosecution in limine to prove what is there, the judge asks, and when you pare away what is there, there's nothing there as a matter of law. So sometimes in the court of public opinion, the members of the public would want to see one thing, but both the police and I know that in the court of law, it's either you have to have cogent, credible, reliable, admissible evidence. If you don't have it, then no matter how egregious the conduct of an individual is, then you don't have a case. Then you have to look at the second layer in terms of governance and accountability. And this is where public opinion, civil society can force the government of the day to make sure that all the particular oversight agencies, that they have teeth, that they are well structured, and that the will, the political will is there to make sure that the teeth are not rickety in the oversight agencies, but they can stand up. In other words, if you put a piece of cane in the mouth of the teeth of that oversight agency, the teeth won't come out. It is the cane that will suffer damage.
Riveting perspectives and indeed sobering statistics coming from the AmCham empaneled team here at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. You're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
Dodge & Global offers a CPA scholarship program to team members who join our team. A career in accountancy at Dodge & Global is a great choice and can offer you excellent job prospects. We believe that an accounting education is the greatest gift you can give yourself or anyone else. Few gifts make as significant an impact as the gift of an accountancy education with a job. It's a contribution that lasts a lifetime in the form of learning, opportunity, and success. Join our team and get the opportunity to be part of our CPA Scholarship Program. This Scholarships Awards Program will be administered by the HR Department of Dodge & Global. Requirements: first degree in accounting, employed at Dodge & Global, willing to pursue the CPA examination. Here's how to apply. Submit application to Staff Accountant, Dodge & Global, email sa@dodgen.com.
Hi there, so glad to have you on board for another informative edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Theodore Henry. Coming up, remote irrigation vehicle technology. Plus, we look at some measures to help protect against diseases. Sit back and relax for these and other interesting features along our half-hour journey through the pages of Jamaica Magazine.
Protect yourself from the flu virus. Visit your nearest health center or doctor to get the flu vaccine. Cover your mouth and nose when coughing and sneezing. Wash your hands regularly with soap and water or by using an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid the spread of germs by not touching your eyes, mouth, or nose. And be sure to regularly disinfect surfaces and objects that are used often. Remember, your health is your responsibility.
It is possible to get sick from foods that have become contaminated through improper handling. In our HealthWise segment today, we look at some important guidelines to follow to prevent foodborne illnesses.
Dangerous strains of bacteria such as E. coli and Salmonella can cause serious health problems when the food we eat become contaminated through improper handling and not being properly cooked. In light of the dangers, there are some important precautionary measures we must observe to protect our health.
We have to make sure we know where we're purchasing our food. If it's straight from the farms, if it's from the market, it's from the supermarket, it's from the meat shop. Ensure that it is clean. When you are preparing the food, ensure that you have a separate cutting board for meats, separate cutting board for vegetables, and you're constantly washing your hands. If you're going to eat out, ensure that the environment in which you're going to take your family is one where you can trust that the food is being prepared in a clean environment. We love our street food, and we encourage, as Consumer Protection Agency, we encourage that economic activity. But we're saying you're to take precautions as well. Ensure that your street food are from reputable persons that you know you can trust.
Check the expiry date on food products before purchasing and check them again before cooking.
In food preparation as well, the education is to ensure that you separate the raw from the cooked. You know the raw and the cooked is a totally different environment. So when you mix the two, that's when you have contamination. That's when you have food poisoning. That's when you have a member of the family who might end up in the hospital because they're either very young or they're elderly or their immune system has been compromised.
Discard any food that looks or smells questionable. Don't allow your food to stay open and accessible to flies. Containerize and refrigerate or freeze leftover food before 2 hours after cooking. And always store meats and seafood in sealed containers.
The second thing about food safety is you have large amounts of food laid out for a couple hours or more, and the family keeps coming back, dipping, visitors coming, dipping. You have to ensure if you have the food out for more than 2 hours, hot food, be very careful, especially if you add sauces and other condiments on the food. it tends to go a little off early. And that is where you have problems if you have an elderly person or a young child. Make sure that you put that away early, that you don't put your family at risk. Because food poisoning, most of us get well quickly, but it can lead to death if your immune system has been compromised. So we're saying be safe with your food. Ensure that when you package them and put them away, they're packaged in portions where when you take them out to reheat, you don't reheat the entire thing and then put it back in the refrigerator. So you apportion it according to what you're going to be using, so you don't increase the risk of food poisoning or any other bacteria entering the food.
Ensure meats are cooked thoroughly. Remember, improper food handling can mean the difference between a trip to the emergency room or enjoying a tasty meal. Cancer, stress, high blood pressure. Guard yourself against these potentially deadly conditions by eating healthy. Give your body long life with foods such as low-fat milk, dried and fresh peas and beans, unsalted nuts and seeds, fresh vegetables, fruits, and coconut water, and eliminate processed seasonings such as seasoning salt, soy sauces, and ketchup. When it comes to meats, remember to remove the skin to reduce the intake of fats and oils. Meats should also be baked, steamed, grilled, or roasted. Fish is also a preferred protein option. To eat healthy, fill your body with a variety of foods from all the food groups. And remember, eat at a slow pace and in small bites to help aid digestion. This helps to maintain a healthy, balanced, and nutritious diet, strengthening your body to ward off illness and prolong life.
It's important for all of us to be alert and proactive in light of so many emerging diseases across the globe. But while we continue to look at safeguards, in this next feature, good environmental practices and hygiene are being promoted to protect our health from diseases such as dengue fever.
The country has had a major battle against the dengue virus. Recognizing that eliminating the breeding sites of the mosquito vector is a major weapon in this fight, the government has been engaging the public. Everyone must play a role, and the key message is take responsibility. A national dengue cleanup period launched in January spurred 3 days of activities to increase this awareness. The communities of Grandspen and Raytown were selected as national project sites, with work also undertaken at 36 other communities identified as critical areas for national dengue cleanup intervention.
Environmentally friendly, safe, and just drop it in there.
3 key stakeholder ministries, health and wellness, culture and local government, steered the initiative.
What the government is doing, we are working with all the leaders in the community trying to get the message out. So this group that is mobilized has a representative set of leaders of a community. But the political leaders have a critical role to play, because more often than not, public resources are placed at their disposal to use for these kinds of activities.
In recent years, well over $2 billion have been pumped into vector control activities and environmental maintenance, to include solid waste management. The expenditure covers new vehicles with enhanced fogging capabilities and expanding fogging across the island.
Ministry of Health!
More than 1,000 vector control workers have also been hired to identify and treat possible breeding sites in communities and give residents pamphlets with useful information. But these interventions, the government estimates, can only address 20% of the problem.
The other 80% of the problem now is really behavior change. But we are sending a message to the country. Let us change our behavior. And once we begin to do that, the one mosquito that can breed between 1,800 to 3,000 mosquitoes, if you kill that one mosquito, consider how much you save.
Day 1 of the national cleanup exercise focused on schools and businesses. The Jamaica Information Service was among the businesses where staff took time out from their regular work schedule to search for mosquito breeding sites.
Remember to look under your flower pot. This 3-day program is also the launch of a sustained program to have a mosquito-free environment. And if you do find the mosquitoes, we want them dead, not alive.
The JIS, we are helping with the public education program, and so it was very important for us as an organization to mobilize staff to look for the breeding sites and get rid of them.
Day 2, the focus was on towns and communities, which saw Prime Minister Andrew Holness leading the day's activities in Grandspen, one of the national project sites. The team of state and local authorities, supported by volunteers, cleared major gullies at Barbican, Grandspen and Acadia.
This initiative of the government is fantastic. Let us hope not only Grandspen, but all of the inner city communities, all the communities across Jamaica see the need to reduce the breeding sites, preferably eliminating them, because that's the only way that we are going to stop the spread of the dengue virus.
The National Solid Waste Management Authority NSWMA teams removed the bulky waste.
The fact is, the conditions for mosquitoes to breed, the water, are found in almost every community in different forms, whether it is certain types of solid waste, whether it is the drums that you catch and retain water in, whether it is the rocks or the leaves in some instances. We have a role to play because dengue and the breeding of the mosquito is right in our backyards, literally. And we must play that role in our own personal interests, in the interests of our family, community, and by extension, country.
There's a commitment on our part to join with the government to eradicate mosquitoes, because at the end of the day, it is the lives and livelihoods of Jamaicans that is being affected.
The third day of the National Dengue Cleanup exercise involved engaging citizens in their homes.
So remember now, this pill has no indication of any harm to your health. All right? So we can just drop it in. Well, that is usually done by the Ministry of Health or persons trained or under the supervision of the Ministry of Health. But what we do recommend is that if you have to store water, that you cover it like this. If you were to buy this mesh pre-made, it would be about $500. But that should be considered against the cost of treating someone with dengue, which could be about $200,000. So just being cautious like this would not only save you $200,000, but it could save somebody's life. And you don't have to buy this ready-made. Any material that is permeable can be used to cover your water container and still allow it to catch the water if that is what you're using it for.
Beach cleanup and gully cleaning exercises in Raytown, the second national project site, was well supported.
I think we've achieved the objective across Jamaica to mobilize as many Jamaicans as possible, starting with leadership at all levels, and to drive the message home, which we have been trying to drive home for the last year, which is that dengue is a serious issue. You can't take it lightly. It starts with the breeding of mosquitoes. A lot of times we contribute to it, knowingly or unknowingly, and we have to start the process by looking consciously for breeding sites and destroying them.
The Health and Wellness Ministry hopes to make national cleanups a regular fixture as it continues to promote lifestyle change in tackling vector-borne diseases such as dengue.
Students in the agricultural program at their technical high school are riding on a technological wave with award-winning innovations to support farming ventures. We now feature one of their latest technological novelties.
there we have a structured agricultural program. Students sit the subject at CSEC and at the CAPE level. It is divided into two groups, the animal and the crop production. So here at Veer, the students, they tried to use technology. So they came up with the robot, we call it a RIV, which is a remote irrigation vehicle. So instead of coming on the farm to do the watering, the fertilizing and the spraying, the technology itself, which is the RIV, does that job for the students. So it eliminates them being here on a very frequent basis to get that done.
Yeah, I started this group when I was in grade 9, when we first entered the 4-H Tech in Agriculture competition. We first designed a miniature chicken coop that was powered via wind turbines. Our project we have now is our RIV, which is a 3-phase project. We now are at phase 2. Phase 1 was our atmospheric water generator, which generated water for greenhouse. Phase 2 is our robot that catches the water from the generator and distributes it to the plants within the greenhouse. SRC competition, which is the Scientific Research Council competition, we won that competition 3 years in a row. 2019 was actually a relief because we won 2018 with phase 1 of the project. So we actually won 2019 with phase 2 of the project. What we want to do with the robot now is to allow the robot to specify how much humidity is within the soil and tell what type of pest is on the plant.
The RIV consists of 3 sections: the watering and the electronics and the movement. Alright. For certain vehicles, it's hard to maneuver through certain obstacles. So we designed the robot to work on a very rugged terrain. So it has 6 wheels. The watering is set in a way where it won't damage plants during the watering. So we take specific measurements regarding the gap that is working with, and then our electronics is powered by a solar panel that we place on the back of the robot, which does the charging for the batteries. So while it's working, you don't have to worry about it running out of power during the process. So as it does its job, it charges, and you get a steady feedback on your cell phone regarding what it's doing, how far it has reached in the watering or fertilizing. The most unique factor is that you can leave it in your farm anywhere, and you can stay at work, in your house, anywhere, and get live feedback regarding the statistics of the robot. Battery percentage, location, how far it has reached in the process of watering or fertilizing.
We're trying to engulf the younger generation into the association because we don't want that when we move on, the club and the legacy that we have created die out. So we incorporate the younger ones and so forth, teach them what we have already garnered, especially the experiences from what we have. We take some of the younger ones with us so that they can get the experience as well and help their fellow young mates up. If you're interested in science and technology, it is a field that you have to have patience, because everything won't go the way that you want it to. So you have to develop patience, you have to be a good listener, you have to learn to observe, because through these skills you'll be able to advance your skills, because no one knows everything, so each one teach one. So when you have these skills now, you'll be able to learn faster, you'll be able to learn better, and in the long run you'll be able to develop your own ideas based on what you've learned along the way.
Whatever illness you might have, it is important to visit the doctor at the earliest sign of sickness. For many conditions, early detection can lead to better outcomes. Don't stay at home and self-medicate and allow your condition to worsen before going to the doctor.
If you are a youngster, young child, 14 and younger, older person, or you have a compromised immune system, you have an underlying illness, a cancer patient, a diabetic patient, then your system is compromised. You need to see the doctor quickly and let the doctor prescribe.
Visiting your doctor early protects your health, so you can enjoy more moments, more life.
As we continue to highlight and celebrate our musical heritage this Reggae Month, today we explore how the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission is encouraging music development and heritage preservation through its annual Drum Fest.
Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to Drum Fest 2019.
We are here for Drum Fest. This is the premier section for drummers. It's equivalent to the national finals just for drummers. We wanted to improve the standard as well as get more persons involved in drumming and to see, the part it plays in our culture. So we had that Drum Fest separated, and once it started, there was no turning back because it caters to a different audience than national finals for instrumentalists and vocalists. Each year it's getting larger and larger. We have a total of 42 competitors. 42 competitors in terms of schools, but of course for the ensemble presentations you can have up to 14 persons in a group. We are talking about mostly our young people. We're talking about primary schools, prep schools, high schools, community groups all over Jamaica. We even have semi-professionals who enter the competition. We have some teachers of drums who also group up and enter. We have congas, we have djembes, we also have even the trap sets. We have all types of drums, African drums, Jamaican drums, and we have the auxiliary instruments that we use as well, maracas, we have cowbells. Check our history. From as far back as you can think, our African heritage and drumming. You say drum, you equate that to Africa. So we find that our students naturally, Jamaican students naturally gravitate towards drumming. They play syncopated rhythms just casually. They don't even realize how technical it is, and they don't understand really that what they are doing is not as easy as they think.
We basically come here to just motivate the kids and let them know that good drummers are here that they can learn from and they can actually have a career from this. Most people might not know, or most people might think that you can't have a career from our kind of music, which is hand drumming, but that is not so. Because if you take a look at, for instance, Chronix and Kabaka Pyramid, they have two percussionists on their band.
For me, it's just a way to express how I feel. When you come home from, or when you leave school in the afternoon, you go drum rehearsal, feel good about yourself, release out of stress, and just a way to express yourself creatively and stuff. We've been to a lot of embassies with RD drummers. I really like it because I get to go places and meet a lot of people that are very important. Different experiences, you go all over Jamaica. It's just fun. It's a whole lot, it's a brotherhood because I'm not the only girl. Well, not really the only girl, but there are not a lot of girls. I play djembe, but if we're doing Jamaican rhythms, we play Jamaican drums like congas and stuff.
I also teach it in Ensom to the primary school, and the whole school want to join. Everyone put their hand in the air. Sir, me can play. No, look here, me can play. No. Like, That's great, motivating and encouraging for us.
I like music and I want to do it in my career. I like that the sounds of the rhythm them and the type of songs I play with the rhythm.
It's nice to play. It encourages me and everybody else and feel the vibes and everything.
We would really want to make it bigger and better. We would want to have better prizes to give to the performers. They have worked really, really hard. And yes, we know they will be getting, trophies at the end, but we have others who are also excellent that we would want to give incentives and so on. So I see the competition going there.
On the board this week, the National Fisheries Authority, an agency of the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries, is advising fisherfolk, traders and the public at large that the conch close season remains in effect and continues until March 31, 2020. During this time, it is illegal to catch, sell or process any conch meat. Conch meat, which has been previously declared, must remain in cold storage until the season officially reopens. Also on the community notice board, the Canada Caribbean Institute, in association with the University of the West Indies and Brock University, will be having its inaugural Canada Caribbean Research Symposium from February 17 to 19. It will be held at the UWI Regional Headquarters in Kingston, Jamaica. Researchers, tertiary level students, and policymakers from across Canada and the Caribbean are invited. Discussion themes will include Caribbean culture and the diaspora, Caribbean economic growth and trade with Canada, social issues and education in the Caribbean and Canada, and health and the environment in the Caribbean and Canada. Registration deadline is February 12, 2020. Visit uwi.edu/ccrs, email ccrs@uwi.edu, or call 876-977-6105 for details. The Pradial Larceny Prevention Coordination Unit will be hosting a sensitization seminar in St. Catherine to increase stakeholder participation in the National Pradial Larceny Prevention Program. This will be held on Wednesday, February 12 at the Heart Trust NTA Luadas Vale Vocational Training Center in St. Catherine. Starting time 10 a.m. Stakeholders will present on how proper usage or adherence to current measures can better prevent and protect farmers against pradial theft. The United Church presents Convocation 2020, come Ash Wednesday in all regions under the theme Evangelism, the Heartbeat of the Church. The Northeastern Region's Convocation will be held at Boulevard Baptist Church in Kingston from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. The Southern Region's Convocation will be held at Clarendon College from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Western Region's Convocation will be held at the West Jamaica Seventh-day Adventist Conference Center in Mount Salem, St. James from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Meanwhile, the Cayman Region's Convocation will be held at Savannah United Church in Grand Cayman from 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Come and be ready for a magnificent time in the Lord. Admission free. The Post and Telecommunications Department Central Sorting Office at 6 to 10 South Camp Road in Kingston wishes to advise customers that effective Monday, February 10, all outbound mail items to China and Hong Kong, with the exception of fast-track shipments, will be suspended until further notice. The decision is due to the impact of the outbreak of the novel coronavirus on commerce and logistics with various partners, including international flights to and from China. For additional information, visit jamaicapost.gov.jm or email info@jamaicapost.gov.jm. The Post and Telecommunications Department sincerely apologizes for any inconvenience caused. And that's all for your community notices this Saturday. If you have an event to share on our notice board, give us a call at 876-922-8680 or email cbishop@jis.gov.jm.
We've come to the end of our half-hour journey, but be sure to come back right here tomorrow for another edition of Jamaica Magazine. Until then, continue to watch these and other programs by logging on to our website at jis.gov.jm or subscribing to our YouTube channel. You may also find us on all the major social media platforms and through our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. Well, good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access. Business Access. Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
Hello and welcome to Business Access Television's coverage of the Golden Day Tourism Awards. We're coming to you from Montego Bay, St. James, where it's a very special day. The Ministry of Tourism and the Jamaica Tourist Board are honoring individuals who have dedicated over 50 years of service to building the local tourism industry. I'm Kenil Gale and I'll be your host, so stay tuned for the highlights. Okay, so we told you that the Ministry of Tourism and the Jamaica Tourist Board, they are honoring individuals who have dedicated over 50 years of service to the tourism industry. And speaking with me now is Melvin
Williams.
Melvin Williams, and he's been in the industry for how long?
58 years.
58 years. What's the major change you would say from when you started until now?
We have quite a bit of changes. I've seen a vast more tourists coming into the country than ever before. We have a lot more people get involved in the industry than ever before. I find that people are more better off in a living condition than before since the industry has been grown to this dimension.
What are some of the milestones you've seen? Because you've been in it for decades. So what are some of the milestones that you've seen over the years?
In the last 15 years, it has developed very fast, rapidly. I have seen tremendous amount of hotels that has been built. The Spanish hotels, so many Spanish hotels with so many bedrooms. I've seen so many hotels built right across the country, especially in the North Coast. Our beaches have been developed, and cruise ships has been more than ever before in the past. And we have a lot more people, operators, tourist operators, drivers, who involved in this industry that been able to make a better living for their family than in the past. So most of them I discovered that they can have a better home, better school for their kids, able to send their kids to school. And even though it has been hard sometimes, but yes, they're able to do it because of the industry.
Let's talk a little bit about your journey. Tell us a little bit about where you started and what are some of the jobs that you've done within the industry.
Okay, I started at the Roundel Hotel in 1959, and I worked there until 1963. I was sent to London by Mr. John Pringle, who was the owner and director of the Roundel Hotel, to our Park Lane Hotel in Dorchester, London. And I worked there for 18 months. Then I came back to Roundel in 1964 and picked up my position there, and I worked there until 1970, where I started a transportation business of my own, carrying the tourists with my own taxi service. Then I leave there in 1970 to our Martin Tours, which was the only tour company then in Montego Bay and Jamaica. I worked with Martin Tours until 1976, when they moved out of the country. And then I was a member of JUTA from 1974. And since then, 1976, I went to the Sanders, where it was Royal Caribbean. I went to Royal Caribbean Hotel, which is now Sanders Royal, and I'm there until this very day from 1976.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us, and congratulations again. And on behalf of Jamaica, we thank you for your service.
And I've been able to school all my 6 kids, give them university training, and I think I am privileged to be here this evening to share with you the importance of the industry, and I'm grateful.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Another awardee has stopped by to talk with us. He's Michael Young, and he's been in the industry for 51 years.
51 years.
Talk to us about what you're feeling tonight. What does this function mean to you?
Well, I'm feeling proud because tourism is our #1 industry. And where I work at the airport, I welcome the tourists in when they came in with their luggage, and when they're going out, I'm the last person to say bye-bye to them.
So you have a very critical role in terms of ensuring that people feel at home when they come and want to come back.
Right, and I operate on a tip basis. And whether I get money or not, I still give a smile and say, come back to Jamaica, man.
All right, talk to us about your journey in the industry. You say you work at the airport now, but that's where you've always been, or you've had different jobs?
Well, I do a little truth and tourism too, from the shipport now, because I'm not living back anymore now. I'm getting older. But I've been at the airport from there was 4 aircraft. 4 aircraft.
4 aircraft?
Right. And now you have over 35, 40 coming in per day.
Nice, nice. How has the tourism evolved in your eyes in terms of the product that we are offering here in Jamaica?
It's growing rapid. To what it started from, it's growing rapid. I am pleased. I passed the airport a while ago and I was happy to see the amount of planes on the ground and the amount of buses. And tourism is quick money. It's foreign exchange. It's the biggest industry in Jamaica. Quick cash.
You talk to a lot of tourists. So what do you think are some of the things that we can do better? As in some of the things that we can do to make tourists more comfortable, let them feel more safe, make them feel more welcome.
Tourists like a smile, and they like to be comfortable. They like to congratulate and ask them to come back to Jamaica and go the extra mile to do something. And everything is not money. Sometimes some tourists are poorer than I and you, but they come to Jamaica. And if you treat them nice, they'll tell somebody, they maybe tell the rich guy, come to Jamaica.
All right, congratulations again. And the word you're leaving with us is treat the tourists nice.
Yeah?
And keep smiling.
Smile, keep smiling. Welcome the tourists, treat them right, keep them safe, and they will come.
All right, wise words there from Michael, who's been in the industry for over 50 years. We're now speaking with Wordsworth Watson, and he's been in the industry for 65 years, all of 65 years.
Yes, sir, unbroken.
65 unbroken years. It just boggles my mind, and it's a wow for me to. So first of all, thank you for your contribution to the industry. And how are you feeling to be here tonight?
Extremely good, because in 1960 I went to a seminar down Casa Montego, and the lecturer was from UWI, and his remarks was that he was the brightest one in there, and anybody in the tourism sector are from the lowest category of the workers. And after that, Hugh Shearer realized that we were not being cared for, and he decided to start a program, but unfortunately he died before the program could get off the ground.
Talk to us a little bit about what does the tourism industry mean to you as an individual, and also as an individual being able to contribute to the growth of this wonderful industry from its infancy up until now.
Very good. It means so much to me First thing, that's what made me to be what I am today. And secondly, it helped me to school my daughter overseas, give her one of the first-class education in Canada at York University. And now she's doing a very good business in Canada. I'm feeling very proud, and again, to know that at my age, they still want me to be in the system.
All right, Mr. Watson, thank you so much. Thank you for your contribution to the industry, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
We're now speaking with Myrtle Dwyer, and she's another one of our awardees this evening. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It's been such a special evening for you and your fellow awardees.
Awesome. For one, I never thought for a moment. I never expect awards. I do, and I am, and whatever comes with it. So when I heard that I personally was being awarded this evening, I was like, that's impossible. I just happened to have been in tourism, did what I was supposed to do, and I'm enjoying it.
You've been in it for 50 years, so it must be something that you love.
Absolutely. It actually grew on me because came from the hills of Westmoreland to high school in Montego Bay High School to be exact. And Montego Bay was tourism, so we saw tourists walking up and down on the road. We were gracious and kind to them, and it became a part of me, and my curiosity led me into tourism, and it grew on me even further, and I studied the subject heading off to Germany in 1972 to study hospitality and tourism.
Jamaica has, sun, sea, sand, but a lot of other places have that. What do you think gives us the edge in the tourism industry?
Awesome. We're a nation of contrast. We're an island of diversity, and we're just a land of beauty with experiences to match every desire, every discerning client, every aspirational client, and every client who wants to come to Jamaica or thinks they need to get to Jamaica.
Now we know why you're one of the foundation members in the industry. Finally, just tell me, what does that mean to you to be one of the foundation members, one of the persons who helped to build the industry from where it was to where it's at now?
Actually, it's good because the times were tough. It was tough, one, being in the industry, working long hours, and two, being a woman. It was a man's industry. And so you had to contend with the men, and you had to contend with foreigners. And but you know what? It made me to be built of sterner stuff. And today my shoulders are broad, and I'm standing on the backs of a few others who came before me. But I'd love to have taught many who have gone on to be excellent women of industry.
And 50 years later, you have a real good legacy to look back on.
Absolutely, and I'm still going. Reinventing myself.
Still reinventing yourself. Thank you so much for talking with us. We take a quick break here from the Golden Tourism Day Awards here in Montego Bay. More after this break.
I'm 36. I'm a husband, a manager, and still very good looking. In 2 hours, I have the most important meeting of my life. But first, it's time to play. The new Suzuki Vitara.
Welcome back to Business Access Television's coverage of the Ministry of Tourism and the Jamaica Tourist Board's Golden Day Tourism Awards.
The idea, of course, of having an event like this was born out of a realization that tourism has, over the last 50 years, evolved into the most important industry in the world today. And many of you would not have known or even realized what you had been putting yourself to and the tasks that you were assigned and the outcomes that in time would ensue. When you started out in your various areas, some of you have transformed into many, many other things. Others of you have painstakingly stood your path and have served well with distinction in your preferred area. And as Martin Luther King said, you became the best of whatever you wanted to be. If you were a busboy, you became the best busboy that there ever was. And if you were a gardener, you became the best gardener that there ever was. And if you were a driver, you became the best driver that there ever was. And whatever it is that you were, you did it like Michelangelo did painting. And we're proud, very proud to have you. But I wanted to just reflect a little bit on the fact that 50 years ago, when some of you started, and there are many who have done more than 50 years. As a matter of fact, when I went through the schedule, I saw that there were very few 50 years. There were more 51, 52, 53, as far down as 67 years. Hello, 67 years. And I reflected a little bit on what happened when 50 years ago some of you started. And 50 years ago, 400,000 people came to Jamaica for tourism purposes. And they spent $87 million US. Last year, because of you and your 50 years and more, 4.3 million visitors came to Jamaica and spent $3 billion US. And this year, we are going to see pretty close to 4.4 million people coming, and they are spending $3.3 billion US. In that same period, there were only 10,000 employees direct in tourism. Today, 120,000 people are employed in tourism because of you and your efforts. 50 years ago, we were not a factor in the GDP calculations. Today, last year, tourism contributed 8.4% of GDP because of your efforts. And I want you to recognize that we believe that the time is now right for us to look at this great industry that you've created and to build and create a new architecture that is going to ensure that the efforts and legacy of all of you is sustained in the constant development and the expansion and transformation of this country and the people of our country from poverty to prosperity. And we are excited about that prospect. As a result of which, we have been putting together a number of new initiatives towards that effect. In the introduction to me, mention was made of the efforts that we initiated in my first iteration as minister with regards to the pension program for workers of the industry. And to the benefit of those who would not give a lot of thought to it, that process continued while I was in sabbatical with the new minister, and it was taken to a certain point. But that point which it was taken to was not sufficient for us to implement, because there were a whole range of difficulties that emerged as a result of the type of policy that we have sought to implement. One which had no precedent in either Jamaica or the world. Nobody else in the world has a tourism policy for pension like we are trying to introduce. Nobody. And consequently, we had concerns by the legal entities as to exactly what it was. The second concern was that we had to legislate. And it would have been the first policy to be legislated in terms of contribution, because all policies otherwise are voluntary, and so the contributions are made voluntarily. We are introducing legislation to make it compulsory for everybody who is working or employs people in tourism to contribute to this pension plan, to make sure that we can secure the future of the workers of this industry. And so we are not going to be driven by any feelings about how quickly it should happen. Yes, we want it to happen quickly, but we want to have right. We want to get it right. And we want to make sure that at the end of the day, the workers, you who have worked for 50 years and over, and who have retired, can retire in the certain knowledge that there will be pecuniary rewards for you after you have left the companies that you work with. But one of the reasons that this particular pension plan is so unique and is different from all the others and cause a little bit of harder work and more detailed legal applications is that it's not confined to a single sector. And all the other pension plans relate to a particular sector or a company. This one, we are trying to embrace all the areas that connect with tourism so that the little man, the red cap at the airport will have a place in this pension plan. So that the craft vendor has a place in this pension plan. So the transportation sector, the Juta man and the Jekyll man, yes? And all the other transportation providers in Jamaica have a place in this plan. And also the attraction workers, the rafters. Yes, the rafters on the Rio Grande, and the rafters on Great River, and the rafters on Martha Brae. All will have a place in this plan. So this is an omnibus plan which will take into account all the connecting parts for tourism that has never happened before. And we have to get it right. And thank goodness we have a good team headed by Daisy Coke, who is doing a magnificent job, perhaps the best actuary in the entire Caribbean. We have the benefit of her services, and we are doing it right. And don't rush us too much. Let us get it right, and we'll have it for you before it's long.
Cash flow and budgeting analysis. A business can be profitable and still run into trouble due to cash flow issues. We can forecast and evaluate your company's financial condition, estimate financing requirements, and track cash flow sources and uses. For more information and to discuss your requirements with one of our experts, please contact us today. Email info@dodgen.global. Website https://dodgen.global.
But we need to do something else, as you see we are doing. We're building out the capacity of our human capital to generate quality services that you have started during your 50 years. And you have had over the period not the opportunity to get formal training, some of you. And others of you have slaved and worked hard in the various fields without certification. And you have suffered the consequences thereof because you get passed over every time and new people come in from overseas to take your place. Well, in this new arrangement and the new architecture for tourism, we are training our people, we are certifying them. We have established the Jamaica Center for Tourism Innovation, which is a pathway institution to professionalize the workers of the industry. And already we have provided 450 workers with qualification from the American Hotel and Lodging Institute and the American Culinary Federation. And what that does is to say that the efforts that you have made over the years to build a workforce in the industry must never be taken for granted, and that the Jamaican worker henceforth must have his rightful place in a professional arrangement and get the recognition and the remuneration that fits his qualification and his abilities. Within that frame, earlier this year, in September, we started the first ever program for high school students in hotel management. And so the fifth formers, as we know them, who now would go to sixth form, those 2 years between fifth form and when you graduate, an option is provided for you to get an associate degree in hotel management so that when you leave high school, you can go straight into the hotel and take a strong position as a worker. Not as a contract 3-month worker, but as a full-fledged worker within the industry. And so we are going to look at also the other levels of training that are taking place so that we put ourselves in a position where the workers of our industry can command respect not only at home, but anywhere in the world that they go because they would be certified. And the final area of that is that we are going to ensure that there is a labor market reformation, because the industry is no longer a seasonal industry where we work for 3 months or 2 months or 6 weeks and then you're gone and we close down. We are now an all year round industry where we are bringing up to 4 and more million people every year, and they are there every day. And so we have to look at those labor reform areas. So the next element of the development is how do we include the small and medium enterprises within the tourism industry to become a critical part of the value chain and also to be greater beneficiaries of the resources of tourism. And so Jamaica, little Jamaica, led the world in changing the way we look at small and medium enterprises. And we said to them, there is something called a small and medium tourism enterprise. Because these are the 80% of who constitute tourism in the world. But who only get 20% of the resources of tourism? Something is wrong with that, little Jamaica said to the UNWTO. And they have listened and agreed. And so we now have a situation where we are transforming that whole arrangement, where the liquor man, who has been the hero of wood and drawers of water in tourism, will now have a place, and a place that can supply for him a future for his children and himself. And that's very important. And what did we do in that regard? We established a training program for you, but then we went to provide financing. And we put $1 billion in Exim Bank to be lent to you, the liquor man, at 4.5% per annum for 5 years. And you can borrow $5 million to $25 million to expand your liquor business, to grow your liquor business, and to convert your idea in something of material value that can give you economic returns. And that's another part of that strategy, to create economic empowerment for the small people who are involved in the tourism industry. And finally, I want to say to you that we look at how do we then change the way in which we have been doing tourism. And we have established a task force under Mr. Wilfred Bagaloo, who is a partner of Price Waterhouse and a very reputed and knowledgeable person in that field. And he has been working over the last few months and have been interviewing people from all over. And the purpose of which is for us to look at what is happening through the various mechanisms and protocols in the international trade. Things like the EPA and other such constructs. And to see how those are impacting and affecting our traditional and local entrepreneurs in the tourism sector. And the purpose of which is to redefine that process and indeed to establish a new architecture to enable our Jamaican workers and our Jamaican entrepreneurs to continue to become a vibrant and valued part of the tourism value chain. This is very important to us. Then we have to look at how we interact with the visitors. 50 years ago, we built a tradition in Jamaica of us being a nice, sweet, loving, huggy, kissy, friendly destination. Not true? And that has worked well for us. And it has given us 42% repeat business. But the world has changed in terms of how people think about those type of relationships. We have to learn that no is no. And understand that everybody who comes to our destination doesn't come for the same things. And to recognize that people come for all kinds of things and to be prepared to make sure that we give what they need and what is required. So we are going to develop a whole new program of training and discourses and discussion about something that we're calling tourism ethics, which is the way in which we interact and relate to our guests in a manner which is friendly, yes, but is respective of their particular personality and their human rights. And I wanted to make that point tonight because I know that there is something in the public space which has not worked well for us. The issues of sexual harassment and the issues of criminality that historically or otherwise might have been a feature. We are determined that the new architecture must see a Jamaica that rids itself of even the slightest perception on that matter. And so next year early, we're bringing in an international team headed by Dr. Peter Tarlow and a group called Global Rescue to work with us to structure and to develop a full new program of how we interact and we relate to international guests. This is very important. It's not going to do any harm to us. It's going to put us in a better place. And it is going to make the 50 years and more that you have given to this become golden years, in fact, on which Jamaica is going to continue to build and to become the best tourist destination in the world. God bless you, and thank you very much.
You're watching Business Access Television's coverage of the Golden Day Tourism Awards. More after this break.
Career Moves has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and people say, what are you going to be? The parents will say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands!
Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Hi, I'm Edmund Bartlett, Minister of Tourism, and you are watching Business Access TV. Serious about business.
Welcome back. You're watching Business Access Television's coverage of the Golden Day Tourism Awards. We're at the Convention Center in Montego Bay, St. James. Time now for more highlights.
It's now time to move into the awards section of our function today. And we will be presenting the awards in batches with assistance from some special guests for the handing out. So let me invite first up Ms. Janet Taylor, Executive Director of Devon House, to present to the awardees who have served for 50 years. Can we give her a round of applause as she comes forward, please? Let's hear it for Noel Bailey. And so let's hear it for our second awardee, artisan, craft trader Kathleen Johnson. Craft trader Velma Parker. Next is Vinette Patton Faulkner, craft trader. 50 years, ladies and gentlemen. Also celebrating 50 years, Gloria Ricketts, artisan craft trader. Tour operator Judy Schoenbein. Also celebrating 50 years, water sports and hotel management, Ernest Smatt. 50 years as a craft trader. Let's hear it for Eunice Thompson, our next awardee. Our next awardee is ground transport operator Ralph Smith. Next, we invite Dr. Kerry Wallace, Executive Director of the Tourism Enhancement Fund, to present awardees who have served for 51 years. First, in this lot, is Raft Captain Keith Allen. Next one up is Lloyd Davis, 51 years. "51 years for tour operator Myrtle Dwyer. Also 51 years for Hayden Fulcott, raft captain. Next awardee is craft trader Winifred Jones. Next on the list, though, is housekeeper Barbara Marsh, 51 years. Raft captain Leroy Miller is the next recipient of an award for 51 years. Another raft captain also with 51 years is Donald Morgan. Yet another raft captain, Euclid Richards, also celebrating 51 years. Next up is raft captain Jasper Roberts. And he is followed by raft captain Augustus Thaxter. And in this lineup of 51-year serving raft captains, we also have Owen Waugh. Ladies and gentlemen, the final of our 51-year awardees is Red Cap Porter Michael Sylvester Young. Mr. Young.
And we're now with Alan Daswani, and he's been in the tourism industry for over 60 years. Over 60 years. First of all, congratulations on being recognized tonight.
Thank you very much.
How does it make you feel to be among the awardees?
Oh, I think it's a great thing. I didn't expect so many people, but there are so many awardees today from all the sectors. But I'm glad that the minister has organized for the Duty Free Association and recognizing the duty-free shopping. So.
Tell me a little bit about your tourism journey. It's been 60 years, so you must have seen a lot, and a lot has changed. So talk me through your 60 years in the industry.
Okay, originally when I came, I started in the duty-free shops, but mostly my family, way back, has been involved in shopping. And our families that come from all the way back, all the names that ends with A and I, they all come from one sector. All doing mostly the shops business, and that's how we started. And when I, at my young days, when I was born, 8 years later, India was divided into 3 sections. One became Pakistan, the other one was India. Now, during the time when the Pakistan came, I had to migrate. Being a Hindu, I had to leave the country. So finally, I studied in India, went to the school, went one day to college, and that's it. For 1 year, I went to Africa. I was there for a year and a half in West Africa. But being in the trade, as a trader, I came to Jamaica. My cousins were here already. So they told me, hey, you come down to Jamaica. So we started our business. And those years, this was 1959.
All right, Alan Daswani, thanks for talking to us, and congratulations.
We're ready to move into the next set of presentations, and so we invite Ms. Joy Roberts, Executive Director for JAMVAC, to present to awardees who've served for 52 years. Give her a round of applause, please. For 52 years, Isilda Brighton. Our next awardee for 52 years of service is craft trader Iona Hales Murray. And our final recipient in the 52-year category is Bertram Wright, Ground Transport Executive. Celebrating 53 years, Ground Transport Operator Sydney Bennett. Also celebrating 53 years, Craft Trader Myrtle Cargill. Hotel worker Owen Codlin is our next recipient, 53 years. Next is Frank Gilmore from the food and beverage category. We now move to 54 years. Let's welcome artisan craft trader Pansy Campbell. And we keep the applause going for Eulalie Downer, artisan craft trader, also celebrating 54 years. Winifred McFarlane, also celebrating 54 years as an artisan craft trader, ladies and gentlemen. Also celebrating 54 years, let's hear it for Fitzroy Miller, raftsman. With 54 years, raft captain Sidney Reed. The final of our 54-year awardees is ground transport operator Astley Shakes. First in this lineup with 55 years of service is ground transport manager Kirk Taylor. He is followed by, with 56 years of service, Bellman Donovan Anglin. With 57 years of service, we call on raft captain Uriah Samuels. With 58 years of service is artisan craft trader Dulcie Daly. Also with 58 years of service, craft trader Elgita Evans. Also with 58 years is craft trader Mavis Rose. Also with 58 years, craft trader Ronald Stevenson. The final of our 58-year awardees is ground transport operator Melvin Williams. 59 years as an in-bond merchant is a long time. Manu Daswani, congratulations. And the final of our 59-year awardees is ground transport operator Branford Marson.
Hey guys, I'm Candy and welcome to Chill Spot, Jamaica's ultimate leisure show. This season promises to reveal some of the hidden treasures of the lifestyle industry by taking you to the chill spots of some of Jamaica's most brilliant business minds, giving you a glimpse into how they choose to unwind and just pull a vibe. You won't want to miss what happens next. Stay tuned.
This is Caroline Smith, marketing implementer for Sol Western Caribbean for Shell Lubricants, and you're watching Business Access TV, and they are serious about business.
Welcome back to Business Access Television's coverage of the first Golden Tourism Day Awards. Let's head on back over to the stage to see what's happening.
Ladies and gentlemen, these people have served for 60 years and some for more. The first of the group serving for 60 years as an in-bond merchant is Indru Dadlani. Serving for 60 years is craft trader Merdilyn Scarlett. Ground transport operator Percival Thompson. Serving for 60 years, ground transport operator Desmond Tomlinson. 60 years, bartender Herbert Teddy Tucker. 60 years, craft trader Aldith McFarlane. From hotel management, celebrating 62 years, Lionel Reed. We move from 62 to 65 years. Let's hear it for hotel worker Wordsworth Watson. And when we add 1 year to that, we get the 66 years of service of Elez Glenn. The final awardee with us this evening, 67 years, in-bond merchant Pishu Shandaram.
6 years after Jamaica gained its independence, Eunice Thompson joined the tourism industry. That was in 1968. So she's been honored at this function here this evening. Congratulations. How are you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling very happy to know that I can attend in spite of I've got a sick foot, you know, and enjoy the tourism. I like my tourism and I enjoy the people them and the, you know, the tourists and everybody, black and white, everybody.
You know, I like how you say you like your tourism because I know it's people like you who encourage visitors and to come back and let visitors feel the warmth of the island. Now, talk to me about what it's been like for you in the industry.
Well, for me in this industry now, I gain a little money. I send my 10 kids to school, and I still have my business.
Just talk to me more about just how much tourism.
People. I meet movie stars, I meet doctors, and we correspond and so on in my time.
Well, Ms. Eunice, thank you so much for talking with us, and on behalf of the entire Jamaica, I want to say thank you for your contribution to tourism. Donovan White, thanks so much for joining us here on our Business Access TV coverage.
Sure.
Just sum up your feeling of the night for us.
No, this is fantastic. This is exactly what we wanted, what we hoped for. We hoped for a room filled with persons who have worked in industry. We awarded people from 50 years to 67 years. These persons have never been recognized before. They've given their lives to tourism and the industry of tourism. And so for us to be able to reward them in this way and acknowledge their service in this way is phenomenal. And the room was thrilled with just appreciation and gratitude.
We've built a tremendous industry, a very successful industry on the backs of a lot of these people. Just talk to me about that legacy.
Well, you know what? We don't grow without the work that these people have done. We stand today, getting 4.4 million visitors to come to Jamaica, earning $3 billion US. It's on the backs of the works of these people over the last 60-odd years. And so it is that's part of the reason why we've created Golden Tourism Day. And Golden Tourism Day is really a signifying, or really is intended to signify the start of the peak tourism season where everything becomes in demand within the industry. And it is these persons that have continually given this kind of quality service to the industry over the years, why we can have these kinds of numbers. And so it is very significant and very timely, we believe, in relation to making sure that we don't continue to go and continue to grow and go and continue to do new things without acknowledging the presence and the work of these people over the years.
Let's talk about the new things and some of the younger workers now in the industry. Because speaking to these awardees tonight, a lot of them was like, you know, it's just the warmth of the people and the smile and all that, why a lot of people came back to Jamaica. So how do we use the lessons from these individuals to help grow the industry and to help influence the younger people within the industry?
Well, you know what? Like everything else, you know, time changes everything. And whilst we continue to be an in-demand destination and ranked as the world's best in many spaces, we have to continue to look at how we train our people, how we develop our people, how we develop our industry. We're continuing to grow, but we're also continuing to change. Technology is going to help us with a lot of that. But technology is only a piece of the puzzle, because at the end of the day, we're still in the people business. At the end of the day, it's still about the experiences that our guests and our visitors experience when they come to Jamaica that makes them go away and take the selfie and post it and tag it and make Jamaica go across the world virally. So we understand the world we're in, but we also understand that in the world we're in and that we're operating this industry in, that we have to continue to change and get better as well. Congratulations again to all 57 of our awardees tonight. They range from 50 years of service to 67 years of service. That's phenomenal. I saw some of these ladies and gentlemen going across the stage tonight, and you would never believe the age of which they are today and the number of years they have served this industry. And so I just want to say to them, congratulations again. You've earned this honor, and you will forever be remembered as the first set of tourism workers, 57 of them, that was awarded on Golden Tourism Day, which, by the way, will become an annual event on the 15th of December, if the 15th is a Sunday. And if it's not a Sunday, then the Sunday following the 15th will be that day. And so we want to ensure that people in the industry, owners, operators, stakeholders, understand that this is a day when everybody must come out and support the people on the backs of whom we have climbed to build this industry.
Stay current and gain more information on the ever-evolving industry of real estate on Home Sweet Home, Sundays at 4:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Hi, I'm Edmund Bartlett, Minister of Tourism, and you are watching Business Access TV. Serious about business.
And we're now catching up with Inju Dadlani. He's one of the honorees tonight who has been in the tourism industry for over 50 years. But it goes further than that, because you said your father came here in the 1930s.
1932, and then they opened their business in Kingston, and then he was transferred in 1954 to Montego Bay by the Dadlani family.
Right.
And he went on his own in 1958 into fully tourism. And from 1958 till today, we never look back. We're always in the tourism. It's a different type of tourism we were in. We were in more souvenirs. We were in cloth. And today we are in luxury, high value watches and jewelry.
So your business has evolved and kept up with the time. As the market changed, your business changed?
Well, the market has changed. You have Amazon. You have a lot of competition in the U.S. Luxury. The millennials are not so luxury love. They will spend $3,000 on an iPhone versus $3,000 a piece of jewelry. I know, but we are adjusting. You know, we then have to pick it up in volume. We thank God that we have a dynamic minister pushing tourism to nearly 5 million tourists.
Being among the awardees here tonight, what does it mean to you?
It's an honor and a privilege.
All right, Mr. Dadlani, thank you so much. Congratulations to you and to your family, because it's a family tradition.
My pleasure.
Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett joins us now. Mr. Minister Bartlett, welcome to BATV's coverage.
Thank you very much.
The first Golden Tourism Day Awards, just some of your feelings for me right now.
Well, first of all, when I had the idea of making the 15th, 16th of December the Golden Day and to inaugurate this Golden Award, I thought that we over time had celebrated this as the start of the winter season. And we no longer have winter season, summer season. We now have all year round tourism. But in the psyche of the Jamaican people, it's still the 15th of December or the 16th of December. And so we decided to do just that. Yes, make this date still be a critical part of the tourism calendar, but in fact for a different purpose, for the purpose of honoring those on whose back we stand in this great industry today. The growth that we have had over the last 50 years has been phenomenal. No industry in Jamaica has grown consistently the way tourism has, and with the future and potential for even more growth. For example, early next year, we're going to be breaking ground for 6,000 more rooms. We're talking about bringing new products in, casino gaming with its attendant value added of entertainment and shopping and sports and maritime activities. Now, all of this is going to create a new demographic into the destination. And then to build up air connectivity with new markets, with the LATAM coming from Peru. For this winter season, for example, it's 11 new gateways that we've opened with 125,000 new seats coming in for this winter. So what we're saying is that to pause and reflect on what we've been and the journey, and then to refresh ourselves as we create a new vista for the next 50 years.
One last word of congratulations to the awardees tonight.
Yes, I want to thank them. 3,025 years of accumulative work and contribution to this industry. We wonder what tourism might have been had these people not done what they did. And so words are not enough to convey our feelings about them and our love and appreciation for them. I just want to say to them, God bless you all, and thank you so much for your contribution.
And that brings us to the end of Business Access Television's coverage of the first Golden Day Tourism Awards. We're coming to you from the Montego Bay Convention Center in St. James. We hope you enjoyed our coverage. I'm Kenil Gale. Pleasant viewing.
Taking the pain out of the audit preparation. Doggin Global now offers audit management services, AMS. With AMS, Doggin Global team manages your external audit process by providing the following. 1. Prepare and review schedules for your external auditors. 2. Prepare responses to your external audit team queries. 3. Assign our team members to locate supporting documents during field work. 4. Draft financial statements in accordance with IFRS to supply to your external auditors. 5. Provide guidance to your internal accounting staff regarding classification and recording of transactions. 6. Review your general ledger for accuracy. 7. Prepare necessary journal entries. 8. Prepare fixed asset register. 9. Prepare accounting and operational manual for effective internal control. 10. Liaise with the company external auditors. We work with your team to achieve timely and effective external audits, resulting in timely completion of your audited financial statement, while your current staff focuses on their daily activities. Contact us, info@doggin.global, website doggin.global.
The Good Life, your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
Hey guys, it's your girl Candy welcoming you to another episode of Chill Spot where we'll be featuring your neighborhood Bashko guy, Omar Azan. So stay with us, much more after this. Hey guys, so we've just arrived at Omar's family residence where we're about to head inside to meet everyone. But before we do, here are a few quick facts about Omar Azan. Firstly, he is the marketing and public relations manager at Bashko, the store that gives you more. He's also a musician. He plays the trumpet, percussion, and he also sings. Thirdly, he was born and raised in Barbados. So with no further ado, let's meet Omar Azan.
Hey, Candy, welcome.
Nice to finally meet you.
Welcome to my family's home.
I'm excited. So what do you have planned for us today?
Well, we're having a barbecue, and we do this pretty often. We have our barbecues, like we're always looking for an excuse. Somebody's birthday, have a barbecue. Somebody had baby, have a barbecue. The rain not falling, have a barbecue. So that's why we're here.
So we're having burgers and
hot dogs, and we have some chicken, and my mom made her amazing macaroni pie, and there's desserts.
Is she Trini?
No, my mom is actually Bajan.
Oh, okay,
Right?
okay.
Macaroni pie, Trini, yes, same kind of concept. It's gonna be interesting.
All right, well, with no further ado, let's go.
So while you're here, we have food. Come. Hello.
Hi, ladies.
Candy, this is my wife Danielle.
Hi, Danielle. Nice to meet you.
And this is Heather. She
Hi,
is
Heather.
my media and events assistant. So, Asher. And this is Asher.
Hi, Asher. Hi.
You want to go down?
High five.
Give her a high five.
Please. Yes.
All right. Oh, there's Panda. Go get him. And over here, we have Aaliyah, who is my friend.
Hi, Aaliyah.
And my bodyguard. Don't tell anybody. Not anybody. And here we have Athoy, who
Hi,
is my
Athoy.
marketing assistant. And over there, on the ground, my extremely good friend and audio marketing coordinator, Andrew Thompson, and his boys.
Hi, Andrew. Hi, boys. Daddy time.
Daddy time.
Coming up, how would you encourage other young professionals who are starting out in this industry or even otherwise?
You're not going to like my answer, you know.
Take the guesswork out of improving your IT infrastructure. The field of IT changes so quickly that it can be hard to plan a strategy while keeping up with technological advancements. Yet, without a strategic roadmap built on data-driven insights, your staff can be overworked, spending excessive time putting out technical fires, instead of focusing on strategic tasks that fulfill core business needs. Our IT consulting services are the first step towards transforming your enterprise IT and improving your business efficiency. Our experts have the industry experience and best-in-class tools to methodically assess your entire support operation. We look at your IT support services holistically, identifying improvement areas that will have the greatest impact on employee productivity, service levels, and customer satisfaction. Need help improving your infrastructure uptime? Contact us to discuss a solution that will provide you greater productivity and efficiency. Email info@dodgen.global. Website https://dodgen.global.
This week on Home Sweet Home, we go around Jamaica to visit a few of our most historical homes, each with their own little story. Our first stop, let's find out.
Hi, it's Novia MacDonald White, Senior Associate Editor at the Jamaica Observer. And guess what? You are watching Business Access Television.
We want to get into your business life. Tell me about your role as manager for marketing and PR for Bashco.
When I started at Bashco, I was in logistics and operations, and I was only asked for some help really in the marketing side, like in stages. And then in 2010, my boss moved me full-time into marketing and PR and made me the manager of that department. I really found that I had a passion for pushing the brand, and it's been a very, very interesting and a good learning experience because you start to understand the different types of shoppers, how they respond differently. And marketing for Bashco is exciting.
Right.
Because, well, the downtown firstly is your main offices in downtown. And then you have all the other, there's all the traveling involved because Bashco has 12 locations across Jamaica. When I first took over the job of marketing and PR, my goal was I wanted to make Bashco in the back of your mind all of the time when anyone is talking about, oh, I need to pick up something for my home. I wanted it to be Bashco. And, pat yourself on the back. We're there. Everybody, whether or not you make the effort to shop there because of wherever it might be or whatever, people know about the brand. And that's what I wanted to achieve. I love my team. They are the stones that build the building, that build your house. I'm not into construction. My brother would laugh at me. I probably forgot a step, right? But they're the foundation of what makes the marketing thing possible. And all the times you see me out and you see me in a photo or you see me on the internet or you see me on the TV.
They see you as a face, yeah.
Right, but it's because the team. Guys, I love you. Thank you for keeping this whole thing afloat, right?
What is it like for you working in a family-owned company? Do you find you get special treatment or do you have to work twice as hard? Which one is it?
Okay, that's a great question. And I can actually relate it to before I worked in Jamaica. The first job I had, I worked for my dad in Barbados. It's actually harder than people think.
Yeah.
The expectation is that, no man, your family, you figure it out. But what actually happens is that when people have their 9 to 5 and they go home, your phone rings. What happened today, man? What happened to so-and-so? You can't let me down.
Right.
And there's an extra level of, I guess, pressure,
yeah.
but also expectation and that responsibility, and you have to own it. It has its benefits because you have a chance to sit down at someone's home and feel out their vision and feel out what they're talking about, what they're interested in, what they want to achieve, outside of the tie and long sleeve shirt setting. You don't always have that in a non-familial setting, but I think it actually has helped me because having worked for family and not for family as well in my career, you bring the best of both worlds. So I could say it's probably harder than people think. It was hard working for my dad though. That was the hardest. Because not only do you go home and think, okay, the day is done, but then your dad comes down the stairs. What are you doing today?
Yeah.
What happened to like, Dad,
Come to so-and-so. How did it go? What were the sales like?
Yeah,
Omar, you seem to be so upbeat and full of energy and bubbly all the time. Is that how you naturally are?
No. No, I tell you something. Someone said to me one day, he says, I see you on TV. I see you in real life now. Clearly, you do, you make for do. I was like, yeah, this is me. This is who my my family and my experiences have cultivated me to be this person. And I don't know how to not be me. Right. One of the things I tell everyone, you can accuse me of anything you want, but nobody can come to me and say, Omar, you're Janelle. No.
You're not.
This is me.
That you are not.
This is me.
Now, we've seen Bashko with some very innovative and strategic marketing moves over the last couple of years. What do you think has contributed to their success in that?
Bashko pays attention, and that's one of the things I tell people all the time. We changed our model heavily from a wholesale model where you had to come down to the stores and you could see the stuff, but you couldn't touch it, and you'd ask for, can I get this item number please, on a piece of paper, and someone brings it out to you. It's because that was what downtown and country shopping was all about. That was the wholesale concept. That's how Bashko was built originally. And we saw the shift, we noticed the shift from wholesale to retail, and that desire to have, people wanted to touch, people wanted space, people wanted to be comfortable. And the whole concept was, it was okay to not have that if you were giving somebody a deal. Bashko threw that out the window. This is about 5 years ago. We said, no, no, no. We are going to give people the best shopping experience you could expect in an environment you would never expect it.
Right. Plus the deal.
Plus the deal. Plus the deal. You know, so we pay attention, like I said. We have all these events catering to around me being there or other members of my team being in a store, talking to customers, listening to customers. So it's not just a suggestion box. You want to tell Omar something, Omar will be there, you can't tell me. That was one of the things we did. I wanted to be there. Before we had the Bashko parties and the Bashko limes, we had these things called Omar days, where I'd just be in a store. And people come and, Omar, I want to see some more of this plastic container. Right. Which one? Yeah. You know, and that kind of stuff. I says, boy, Omar, this is good and all, you know, but we really can't afford this. Okay, cool, no problem.
Right.
So we make a note of that, and so I take my time and I go back to the guys to do the buying. I says, this is great, we can see the sales report, and that's the thing, we do research, we do follow-up, we do checking out. So we see the sales report, this is great and all, but they're asking for it like this. Is this something we can get? I don't know, let's look into it. And then we do test runs. So it's a very good example. So we brought in this sofa or settee cover without any expectation of how well it would do. The thing flew off the shelves basically. And we found ourselves in a stock out situation, and people were always there. When you're getting back settee cover, when you're bringing in sofa cover, you love seat, the tree. And so that's the feedback you get because you want to know. And then of course with social media being what it is, we have a very, very good social media team. They're listening, they're out there, they're answering questions. They make a call. Omar, I get a question, so and so. They want to know about this and this. Okay, follow it up, get back to people. And I think that's what it really has helped. Paying attention and being willing to make the big changes to accommodate Jamaica's environment now.
What would you say has been the key contributor to Bashko's growth and success over the years?
Okay, so along with the marketing pushes we've been making, Bashko has changed and diversified the lines offered in the stores. And the biggest thing for that was the addition of grocery lines. Because you couldn't find groceries in a Bashko location. That wasn't the thing. I would say, let's try it. Let's add a bit of canned goods here, a bit of some salt, some flour, some cornmeal. And it worked. And so we said, okay, people want this stuff. And so we treat it like that. We test this, we test this, we test this. Diversify. And then also being accessible.
Right.
So, like I said, we have 12 locations. And what we have done is made sure that locations are in places that are accessible to even in smaller places. So even our Linstead branch, I like to talk about it because it's so small. The Linstead store maybe is the size of this lawn, okay? But it's there and it's a Bashko and you can find what you're looking for.
Right.
And that's because, just because you're in Linstead doesn't mean necessarily you want to drive to Spanish Town to go and get your stuff. You know, so we're there, we try to be there.
What would you say has been your biggest contribution to the industry here in Jamaica?
I think businesses were doing things differently, and because we made the effort and I made the effort to be on the ground and be talking to customers, and physically someone from quote-unquote upper level management is walking around in a store, wherever that store is. I don't care if it's in Savlamar or if it's in Santa Cruz or if it's in Mandeville, I'll be there. And people don't expect that. And what has happened is that I've personified the brand.
Right.
And that personification of the brand has changed what people look for when they're shopping. They want someone to reach out to them. They want someone to engage them. They want someone who is... So yeah, you could shop other places. But when I go here, this man talked to me. Because I believe all customers are customers. I don't care if you're spending $100 and something thousand on a brand new freezer or you're coming to buy a $100 plastic container. I don't care. I see every single customer is worth it. And that's the difference we've made. And I see other businesses doing it. I see other businesses with a personality. I see other businesses having more outside broadcasts. I see other businesses doing more television commercials and trying to make really, really good quality radio advertisements.
Right.
And I think that's good. I think I'm proud of that my efforts and my team's efforts have encouraged the industry to be better at what it does.
Right. How would you encourage other young professionals who are starting out in this industry or even otherwise?
You're not going to like my answer, you know.
Let me hear it first.
Let go of the haughty pride. I have had interviews with young people coming out of the universities. I'm a university grad. I am a UE graduate. And I've met UE graduates and I've met other graduates from around the world. And a lot of the problem I see, these young professionals come out, and I'm not saying don't be proud of yourself and believe in yourself, but whether or not you are the greatest thing since sliced bread, let your potential employer discover that. Don't force them to see it. One of the things I try and preach to my team is the greatest failing you can ever make is to believe you're infallible, right? Your first step in a situation where there's something going wrong is, okay, what did I do? That's your first step, not, I want to go on with them, or what happened to them? What did I do? What can I do better? How can I improve what I just did? Let me consult myself and see what I can do differently. Before you blame someone else for the failings of a project or a team, or cry on an organization or try to change what they're doing, see how better you can contribute to the team and to the unit. And don't expect the world to owe you anything. Put in the effort. Just put in the effort.
Omar, I don't know about you, but all this talking has got me working up an appetite. So I am ready for lunch and to experience the macaroni pie.
Yes! Oh, you won't be disappointed, I promise you. I promise you won't be disappointed.
Coming up. So I guess what I want to know from you guys is, how would you describe Omar?
I'm proud of the man that my son has become. And I believe that there is still more that he can achieve.
I started out selling out of the trunk of my car.
If everybody think the same way, everybody going in the same line.
Being an entrepreneur takes everything that you've got.
Weekends? What's weekends? We work on a weekend.
There are real opportunities everywhere you look.
But you have to have the passion.
If I do my part well, then everything is okay.
We believed in ourselves and our families believed in us.
Being convinced of this great opportunity, why we are all here doing what we're doing now.
My name is Herbert Chung, Executive Chairman, Co-Founder, Honeybun 1982 Limited. You're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
Nice, huh? Crunch in a hot dog.
Cheers, cheers, bigger.
Cheers, cheers.
So I guess what I want to know from you guys is, how would you describe Omar?
Omar is something else. There's very complicated person.
Say nice things.
He's a practical joker. He's a businessman. He is a thinker. He's a family man. He's a father. He's a husband. He's all kinds of the kind of person that you would, be happy to call brother.
Right.
But at the same time, the kind of person that you slap with a 2x4 the first chance you get. I've always wondered about Omar. He can be fun to be around. He can be very serious when he's ready. He's a very focused young man. He's actually my favorite second son.
Cheers, Pops.
Omar has, I think, a lot of the characteristics and qualities that I had when I was younger. The effervescence, the focused, purpose-driven type lifestyle, you know. I'm very happy about is the relationship that we all have. The three of us as men in the family, we have a very close, very tight-knit relationship. And I'm very pleased about that. I thank God for that. I'm very proud. I'm proud of the man that my son has become. And I believe that there is still more that he can achieve. Both of them. Both of them.
So Omar, talk to me about your childhood. How you were raised, where you were raised, your siblings.
Okay, so this is my brother.
Only brother?
Only brother. I think if there were any more siblings or what have you, we would have had a problem, I think, with the law. I grew up surrounded by my dad's family and my mom's family in Barbados. We would travel to Jamaica very frequently. Very close-knit family, so like how you see us spending barbecues here.
Right.
Every Saturday and Sunday, we go out to family house.
Right.
We're going to the beach, we're going out by a pool, we're going by somebody's house to eat some food, we're going to the movies. And that was it. That was how you spent most of your weekends. They used to call me Mr. Energy in school. And you know that. I'd try everything. Football, I'm going to try out. Cricket, I'm going to try out. High school for me was when I was introduced to playing an instrument, playing the trumpet. And it was like a whole new world. You know what I mean? It opened up things I would never have thought possible for me. And acting as well. I did acting in high school along with music. And while everyone was off running laps around the field or going in some party or whatever, I'm in the music room. And I'm having a great time in the music room. And that was it for me. I started a jazz band, I was in school orchestra, and it just kept going and going and going from there.
So tell us about your immediate family.
Well, you've met my brother, my dad, my mom, and now, of course, wonderfully enough, is my wife who was bringing me water. Tiger out, you're out, get out. Get out, get out, bring her in. I met Daniel apparently as kids in Barbados, I don't remember. And,
I don't remember either. I was just about to ask.
We apparently were really young, so we don't remember.
Like 8. Oh, okay.
We re-met at a party here in Jamaica at my dad's house. Barbecue kind of thing. Right, this is our thing, right?
Apparently.
Funny story, so I called her and says, hey, hi, it's Omar. She's all like,
who?
Who?
Because by this time I had forgotten, right? It's 2 months later. Yeah.
Right. And I said, hey, you want to go see a movie? She's like, what movie? I think it was Iron Man 2. She's like, no, I saw it. I said, shut down. And then I says, so maybe we can go for ice cream. And she, I like ice cream.
Yeah, I do.
And I took her out for ice cream. And then 5 months after us starting dating, we got engaged.
Okay.
We were married by our 11th month of dating. I told you she just couldn't get enough of me.
Oh.
Right? She was like, let's get married. No, no, no.
No. Yes.
No. And we were married. We were married for 3 years when we decided to have a child. And that's Asher. And it's been...
How many years now? How old is he?
He's 2. He turned 2 on July 9th.
Okay. But how many years have you been married?
We got married on May 15, 2011. See?
Which is how many years?
6 years.
There you go.
Right. All those guys who ever watch this, you want to always remember your anniversary or your wife's birthday? Set your Wi-Fi password as the dates.
Tell me more about your life in music.
Like I said, I started in high school,
Right.
really. I had a jazz band, the abstract jazz band.
Right.
We used to gig, play at like national events and that kind of stuff for corporate parties, that kind of stuff. Moved to Jamaica. I joined a band out here, Black Zebra, rock, reggae and blues. And I keep practicing trumpet and percussion, as I think I mentioned it earlier. I love music, love to play music and to perform. So I'm in a band up here now, Suzanne Couch and her band. That's exciting because she's a real Jamaican artist and her music is impressive and it really stretches you, pulls better music out of you, you know. wrote a song for our wedding, and I actually sang it. That's the first time I wrote a song to sing. I used to call her and bug her at work.
He does.
I used to call her.
He used to sing the most annoying things, like on purpose, badly when I was in the middle of a meeting. He'd be like, honey, honey. And then he'd go,
love you. It's easy cause you're beautiful. Just to mess with her.
That part would come right through the speakerphone. Yep.
Yeah, I do. I can sing. I don't sing as often as I play trumpet because physically it's impossible to do it at the same time.
Well, clearly.
Keyboardists can sing and guitarists can sing. Trumpeters can't also sing. It's too busy, you know. But music is a very, very big part of who I am. It leads to a lot of how I do other things in my life as well.
What's next for Omar Azan?
I love my work. I love my music. I absolutely love my family. And I think what I'm going to be trying to do going forward is build a bit more of myself into a brand and maybe start a business that we can run together. Maybe another child.
Why the air quotes?
We'll see how we'll do with one.
The future for us is we're going to build what we have and turn it into something that we can grow for our family.
Right. Well, Omar, thank you so much for sharing this beautiful day with us. I had so much fun talking to all your friends and family, so thank you very much.
Thank you for coming. It's been nice to someone else come and see, you know, what else is Omar other than what they see on TV.
Exactly.
But thank you for coming.
Oh,
come back anytime.
Well, after that food, I definitely am. And I haven't even had that yet.
Yeah. None for you guys, sorry.
We've come to the end of another episode of Chill Spot, where we spent the day with Omar Azan, Marketing and Public Relations Manager at Bashco, the store that gives you more. Remember, you can check out previous episodes of Chill Spot on BATVJA.com. Until next time, I'm Candy. Bye. What would you say has been the key contributor to
Well, the back though.
Oh, shoot, recording.
Remember to tune into Chill Spot this Friday at 8 p.m. with me and Candy.
Let's meet.
M&A Strategy and Advisory. Are you planning for a merger or acquisition? M&A transaction. The decision to embark upon an M&A transaction is not one to be taken lightly. Whether pursuing a merger or acquisition or considering a disposal or divestiture, the complexities of an M&A transaction require careful planning and execution. Clients can depend on our specialist teams to lead or support transactions requiring specific expertise on issues including business modeling, fast-track M&A, economic consulting, and government public sector advice. With deep experience, knowledge, and tools, Dodge & Global can meet stakeholder targets and expectations. Dodge & Global consulting teams can help you make smarter, more effective decisions. Let's have a conversation. Contact us at email info@dodgen.global. Website https://dodgen.global.
In this 1 degree, you're able to do many things.
I think the field found me.
I'd rather work with the deceased than work with the living.
Let us open your mind to careers you've never considered.
Manager, model maker,
Game technician,
Animator,
youth empowerment.
Career moves.
Anywhere money is, that's where I am.
Your business matters. Business
Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Hear me when I say just like reggae. Hit me like a drum.
Music is the pulse of Jamaica. Known for mento, ska, rocksteady, reggae, and dancehall, just to name a few. This week on Cameo, we take a closer look at Jamaican artists. Protege is a Jamaican reggae singer and songwriter who has been making his music felt since 2005. His latest track, Blood Money, is a politically charged anthem that speaks to the oppression and struggle of the Jamaican people.
So I started playing a song, Vendetta, so I could meet artists and producers, and then I was always writing. And then I just decided to just kind of try to find my way by doing my little mixtapes and just walking up and down, passing them out, and then gradually just found a song that people connected with and just took off. Well, I mean, for example, if I write a song, before I sit down to write it, it doesn't exist, like it's not in reality. And then you're there, and out of nothing comes an idea, and out of the idea comes some words and some sentences and some melodies. You're actually creating, like manifesting something that wasn't there. Same way a guitarist takes up a guitar and there's no sound coming out of it, and out of his mind he decides to do this, then that, and a sound comes and it inspires me to create. So it's just like creating sound force out of nothing, really.
Them a criminal, watch it, them a criminal. Oh, them a criminal, all of them a criminal.
When I'm my own label, that just means like, marketing, promoting my music, being at the head of that, looking about my bookings, making sure I'm involved in that, managing other artists, producing their music, distributing it. Like all of that stuff is a lot of work, but I really like doing that part of the thing too. And as I said, it just makes me have less time to waste, so I have to be super efficient with my day. I like to work at night, so I try to facilitate that, wake up like 1 in the morning and just hold a vibes by myself, because the city is sleeping and it just feels quiet and it makes me more inspired. Or if I hear music that just speaks to me, I'll just hear a beat a producer sent me, and it will just make me start thinking of stuff. Like I can't force it. I can't sit down and say, all right, let me go write a song right now. For me, it don't work, so I'm sure for other people it does. But for me, I can't really just say, let me go write a song. Like I have to feel like, say, I need to say something and express something.
Me now watch no face, beg no more pardon. Enough drugs, money they a cherry garden. Enough individual society applauding. You can ask anybody.
Visuals was key for me coming up, for sure. My first song, Arguments, had an extremely good video, and at the time, it was like a class video compared to everything. There are other good videos too, but I mean, just that was the stage when people started to really invest in the music videos. And especially at the time, Facebook was just about fan pages and that stuff happened. So it seemed good, when you have these things like Twitter and Instagram or whatever, the good visuals, people see them on their phone now, they can connect to it. And then it kind of separates a serious art. It's like when you see a really good video going with that song, it's like the listener feel like, all right, something serious is happening here. And people pay more attention just how the video looks like. The art direction of it, the coloring in it, you'll be like, oh, this looks like class. And then, especially if you can do a video that brings out the meaning more of a song then, and the mood of the person will be like, I like this song, but now I've seen the video and I feel so much more connected to it. It's a useful, very, very useful thing for this generation to have good videos. With everything you need a good team, you need good people around it. Like, it's only going to work as a collective. As my company, Indignation Collective, is just built with that in mind. So you have a creative director, have my assistant, my label manager, my manager, booking agent, PR. It's so many different things that go into making it work. And everybody being in sync and learning. And maybe you're doing something that's not your field, but you can give an idea to the creative director about what he's doing, and everybody kind of working, so we're all proficient in each other's territory. And I think that kind of makes it flow good, and it cuts a lot of time in between work, because you have an idea in your head and somebody may give you a point, you don't even agree with it, but it make you go somewhere else and get a clear understanding of what you're doing. So it's very essential. But the thing is, especially I find in Jamaica, everybody wants to be the artist. Nobody don't want to be a A&R. Nobody don't want to be like something else in the music. It's like the main thing we have way too much artists and not enough administrative people and people that can help that artist to make something of himself. My knowledge that I think I have of a music business and how to navigate through it. And I was like, you know what, let me just try to do it for myself instead of trying to find somebody who I don't think, can make me realize my vision. So I just started off, slowly but surely, me as the only artist, one manager, and then gradually started to expand, find other artists, sign them, work on their careers, and then merging with visual artists too and writers, and so that a project may be coming up and the visual artist does the video, I do the song, have a producer that makes the beat, and it's all in-house, we're all doing it for ourselves, so that everybody gets to benefit from each other. I benefit from the visual, he benefits from the song getting big and people seeing his visual, and the producer says like all in-house so we can depend on ourselves. There's no part of the process that we really need to go and check somebody for.
All of the fun where she take out of the chase. Want make a run, but me not in the race then.
I mean, there's so much stuff that has happened since then. Like, reggae music has always been going through a cycle. It was like huge in the 90s and then kind of tapered off, and then, Shaggy and Sean Paul's success in the 2000s and made dancehall very global. But it's always, for me, it's never sustainable. It's always up and down, and then you hear, oh, not now going for the music. Then you see it kind of go up and you say, oh, yeah, man, the thing is shut now. Then it kind of go back down. I think on an infrastructure basis, we haven't really done a good job of setting up for the other generation. So a bunch of people get a highlight. There's nothing set up. You don't see a lot of young artists getting put on by these people. Then their thing kind of water down, and then you have to build up back from scratch again. Then when you reach up there and you get a strength, it's like you don't build up a thing for the younger artists. So I think that's why it's always up and down. So for me though, I think it's very hopeful. I think I see a lot of success. I see a lot of touring happening now. I see we're getting a lot of big shows. Last year, Chronix and I did Coachella. That was a big moment. Stuff like that opening up Glastonbury, TV appearances. I just think it's time. But myself, Chronix also to our independent artists, like, so we're doing it a different way than signing to a major and getting that quick ascension. You know what I mean? I just feel as an artist now, I just prefer to do it independent and control my own thing, get up when I feel like, go where I want to go when I feel like going. Nobody can call my phone and I have to hiding from it or feeling like, oh, I have to answer this or else I can just put it on silent and go on about my business. So like that I can't give up for anything. So I can't, that's why I've really kind of stayed away from that. Government for sure could do stuff, but it's like you can't really depend on government. But in an ideal world, I mean, there could be first of all, one main thing, there's not even a live venue in Jamaica. There's no indoor live venue in Jamaica that I know of. And nobody can tell me different. Somebody can come and maybe watching this and say, oh, but you have that place there over there. Them places are not built for no live music. We go and perform in venues that are built for live music. We don't have one. That's absurd. That's just ridiculous. As Jamaica's Kingston, as one of the biggest hubs of music in the world, don't have a half-decent live venue for an artist to walk past it at daytime and say, yo, you know, say one day we're going to do a show in that venue there, you know. Or for a foreign artist to come right now, you can't call an artist from anywhere in the world to come say, yo, you're going to put them up perform somewhere in Kingston. You have to go keep them outside. And when you do it outside, you hear say you have to lock it off at thing. They lock off my show at 12 the other day, and we're playing music that we get our permits for. These little things make a big difference to capitalize our music, because you're making the artists them want to even just go away. Can you imagine if there was a place here, many people would come here to perform, to watch Jamaican artists. Many people would come here to perform. There's no investment. As an artist that I travel and tour and do so much stuff for Jamaica tourism, like they rarely even, I mean, they have reached out to me already, but I mean, there's so many other artists that could get the support. And the support comes to the artists them when them already can do it for themselves. 2 years from now, when Jamaica government come to me about something, I don't need them help, I don't really need the help. There's nothing you can do for me at this point. But you can do something for the young artists coming up and trying to make them way. That is how you capitalize our fight. I'm not going to tell them the end way how to capitalize our fight. You have to capitalize by supporting it and building up artists and them infrastructure. Jamaica have studio like liquor shop. You know what I mean? We need more live places for foster that type of growth there. It's a challenge because especially when you're touring with your band. You know what I mean? Like I travel, it's 12 of us travel, and there's no waste person in the entourage. There's nobody carrying jewelry or cleaning your shoes or whatever. It's all like people where like musicians, assistant, videographer, everybody that have like a real purpose. So like for me now, the temptation is to go and do these shows and don't carry a band and go there. But for me, like I do reggae music and you want to give people the real live experience. So like that, tour buses to do this stuff. Like as an artist coming up, you'll make a lot of money on tour, but it all goes back into facilitating the tour. That's a major concern I would have, like, you know, help in touring, grants from people to help with that, sponsorship to help with that type of stuff. But as a young artist going out there, going on the road to tour, that's the major issue like you're going to face. To make it work, to come back home and not leave everything back in America or Europe or wherever it is you're touring.
Police cancel operation, cause no real bad man a go station. Hey, now if you check the situation, our blood money running nation.
Basically, what the synopsis of my job is coming up with creative music and creative ideas and creative topics and melodies all the time to stay current that people will love.
Hi, I'm Edmund Bartlett, Minister of Tourism, and you are watching Business Access TV. Serious about business.
For dancehall songstress Tifa, music has always been a part of her life. She sat down with Cameo to discuss her passion, her music, her craft.
On a real though, music has always been a part of my life. Like my parents always owned like record shops and I always have access to the new records. Them mother was a party girl, like she have her cassette them with her in a dance and in a the latest fashion, and my father the same thing. And then my mother got my stepdad, he was a producer. He's the one that actually brought Lady Star to the world. So it's like, it's almost as if it was inevitable and we just grew on it. But honestly, when I really didn't know what I wanted to do after high school, I got into schools, I even got a scholarship too, a hockey scholarship too. That's how it's school. Some school at Ohio. Got into schools overseas, got into UWI, decided, hey, why not stay here? Didn't want to play hockey, didn't love hockey like music. I know I loved music, but then my mom was like, okay, I forgot college, because I'm a one pick me. So, did that, had my first summer job, hated it, because at that time, quad did a kick on a Wednesday night. I mean, just one party and listen to music and do everything with music. And I was just like, this 9 to 5 is not for me.
One most girl I run down, I know my style. Hype don't pay my bills, girl child. No man can with no profile. Hype don't pay my bills. It must have.
That's basically what the synopsis of my job is, coming up with creative music and creative ideas and creative topics and melodies all the time to stay current that people will love.
I am Mando in my league. Mongrel could never be my breed. If we drink case I
don't really want to put a cap on what it is that I do. I'd rather be known as a Jamaican musician. Music is creativity within itself. You know what I mean? As I explained before, I have to write. I have to find melodies to put to the lyrics that I write. I have to perform, you know what I mean? And for me, it's a little bit different because the persona Tifa as opposed to Latifah is two different people. You know what I mean? I'm more chill, laid back kind of girl. When I'm up on the stage, it's like beast. So I have to put on that show for people because they're paying for the show. So it entails a little acting too, it entails a little dancing, it entails all of the performing arts really, my job. But since then I've been freestyling a lot of stuff. So I mean, or I can write something, but when I get around there and sing it, I probably want to change it. So I think both the recording and the writing process, they're both call it the creation process. I don't think the creation process finish till the song mix. And we're in Los Angeles right now, Hollywood, California. I want to shoot the video for Back It Up. As I said, I am more laid back. You know what I mean? Whether Tifa wanted to be laid back or not, she couldn't. Because I am a public persona. If I walk on the street, somebody's gonna call my name. So it's a turn on. You know what I mean? On a normal day, I'd love to be in the supermarket. You know, with flip-flops and I stroll through the aisle and, you know, I pick up meats and I think about what I want to cook. But Tifa have to put on the nice blingy clothes and get out there and do her job because that's a part of her job. You know what I mean? Whether it be singing on the stage, whether it be brand ambassador, whether it be businesswoman, I have to put on that hat. I mean, I think the challenge is when I was working at 95 or doing this is the same thing. We encounter the same things because everybody wants to be on top. You know what I mean? So you find that there's a lot of bad mind, there's a lot of fight down, there's a crab in a barrel mentality on a whole nother level in music. You know what I mean? There is, and also the challenge to challenge yourself. Because music is, I tell people all the time, music is like sports. You only have a particular window till you start work, Heineken start time. There's going to be somebody new or hotter that's going to command the attention. You know what I mean? So the challenge is to challenge yourself. I think it's an incredible feat that I've been in the business for 9 years and still relevant. You know what I mean? So as I said, it's hard to continually come up with material that's going to not only appeal to the people that loved you 9 years ago, but the kids that were in school now are graduating. You never hear a female yet run the place. We bust the place, but we don't run the place. We've not been given that, should I say right? I don't know. But yeah, it is harder for females, and it is harder because of what they expect of you. Not everybody wants to go on a stage and skin out every night. Some people just want to sing them and perform for the people. You know what I mean? But it is hard, and there is a glass ceiling because males get way more money than we do, and I think that females, big respect to all of the females, I think females do a harder job. When a man can go up on the stage in a jeans and a white t-shirt and a chain and say dash, and yo, him clean. Me ever go up on a stage in a jeans and a white, lad, she mash up. G's and P's about the travel, so we have to dress the part one, and if it means flicking or splitting or jumping off the stage or skinning out and dancing with the man, forget the forward, I gotta get the forward. Man not have to do them things there. You know what I mean? And at the same time, you might have a man that come with a gimmick song where Okay, just go around the summer because it's funny and it's a new thing. And they give him, let's say, for example, $1 million, but he will have a female with a catalog of songs. And they want to get 300,000.
So all the money you are spent, all the people you are afraid to stop me shining, I see why it gets you.
I mean, if you don't have the passion, what's the point? If there's no passion to do it, then what is the point? Sooner or later, either you're going to resent yourself or resent the music. And I feel when the passion leaves, that is when people self-destruct. You know what I mean? I think that when the passion leaves, that is when people turn to drugs or sex and start to diminish. What's life without passion? What is pursuing a dream if you don't have the passion for it? It makes no sense. Music is the narration to life, basically. You know what I mean? With melody. It tells the story of life with melody, whether it's heartbreak, whether it's, social commentary, whether it's a bad man tune. It speaks about what happens in our daily life, and I think that's why everybody gravitates to music, whether race, whether whatever. You know what I mean? Because it is the soundtrack to life. It sings the songs about the things that we go through.
Music business is very complex. It's a very complicated business involving rights and packaging and marketing and publicity issues and media issues that requires a team of persons.
And it goes a little something like this. Y'all ready? Yeah. Here we go.
Lloyd Stanberry is an entertainment lawyer and music business consultant who has spent many years in his craft. He recently penned his book, Reggae Roadblocks, a music business development perspective, putting all his experience to paper.
Representation for a musician, requires a team.
Well, you come well prepared, man, pillow and everything.
Requires a team that includes someone that can provide legal guidance, someone that can provide management guidance, someone that can provide marketing and publicity related guidance, someone that can provide services in terms of being booked as an agent. So there are a number of persons involved in representation when it comes to an artist. It's not just one entity or one individual or one type of service. Music business is very complex. It's a very complicated business involving rights and packaging and marketing and publicity issues and media issues that requires a team of persons to take care of those issues. Most artists don't understand the issues. They're not equipped to address all these issues.
Me never make dollar for one of my song them yet. And enough artists I go through that thing there, and when them use you for the hyper part of your career and as you start talk about it, them done with you and say you're unruly and nobody can rule you. Me never know said music is a job. See?
The things that I most frequently encounter are disputes between artists and managers. In terms of the relationship, the contractual relationship between the artist and the manager. It's often misunderstood, and there are a lot of issues surrounding that relationship that require legal intervention at times. So people don't understand the relationship of artist and manager. They also don't understand artist and music producer relationship. Some people, not everybody. But those areas are the areas where there are most of the issues, I find, where someone would come and say, I need a lawyer because, there's a problem with myself and management, or I'm manager and there's a problem between myself and artist, and I need a lawyer to intervene. So there's a lack of appreciation of what that relationship requires of the parties involved. I decided to write that book after, coming to the realization that we need to educate persons about the business of music. Persons being the creators as well as some of the users of music. We need to educate them about the business aspects of music in Jamaica. We are very weak in that area, and that I came to that realization from my personal experience, working with artists over the years, working with promoters and so on.
Here's my ghetto story. Been a hell through the fire.
We have never treated music in this society as if it's an important academic endeavor or an important business endeavor. Yeah, so there's a societal problem with music in Jamaica. It's changing in recent times. So nobody took music to be serious business at any level, at the school level or at the practicing music level or even from the consumption level. It's just a vibe, it's just, we're passionate, we love music, we make music, we dance and we enjoy ourselves, you know, and we're proud that the whole world danced to our music. Yeah? But we never ever saw it as serious business at any level. So why should the artists take it serious? We have people who have participated in the music industry, don't get me wrong, over the years. And there have been government efforts over the years. But we have not done enough when you look at the impact of our music on the globe. Yeah? We should be doing a whole lot more in this society to get people to see this as a business. And I think then the artists would function in a more serious way.
Yo! Now make me get down to the root and the stem. If you know you're the hear it, well, you are the problem, yo. I tell the youth them, say, don't follow trend, be a leader, not a follower. Don't follow.
We should be trying to train more people to understand the business of music. I keep going back to that. Because once you do that, investors, people who have money to invest, they will have a clearer understanding as to how this business works, and they would invest. Jamaicans, that is, because we want Jamaicans to invest. And we would have more persons who are better able to guide and direct the creative talent and output that we are already producing to fit within, you know, some of the global marketing channels that are available. And that's what we would have. So I think it's a question of educating the population to understand the business a little bit more, because we all know that it is in demand. Nobody has to, you know, it shows. You know, as you say, a lot of other people are making what we have created and they're making money. So people want what we have created. So we need to know what it is that we are not doing that those persons do. And they have better business representation across the board, better managers, better publicity, better access to the media. They just have more of what is required. So that's what we need. We need better managers. We need more investment in the business. We need more access to media, not just local media, but international media that matters. You know, we need those things so that we can, you know, be the Justin Biebers and the Drakes and the Rihannas, and we know all of them who have done reggae and dancehall and are making major hit songs out of it. I think the general public has a role to play. We need to support the artists who have shown that they have international appeal, and have demonstrated that because there's a demand for them internationally. A lot of the artists who have high international demand are not rated in Jamaica. So, you know, I think we need to try to correct that. Yeah, because if we want to advance the music within the international space, we Jamaicans should support those artists who are making headway in that area, you know, because that could move things further along the way. Because we have to create stars, you know, to get to where we want to be. We have to create more Jamaican stars in the mainstream of music if we want to improve our music industry.
And that's where we leave you this week for Cameo, highlighting Jamaican music's finest talents. Until next week, I've been your host, Amita Prasad Webb.